Just another update on what everything I've got done. The last big video I put together was installing the heads. So the heads are done. They're on, not coming back off. First thing I did today was I installed the valley cover um, with a gasket, obviously. This one uses the button head bolts because I do have a fast 90 intake. So those are the button head bolts that come with that. I put my knock sensors in, and I got new intake gaskets for the Fast 90, which coincidentally are just basically the same size as stock replacement gaskets. So when I got the gaskets, they actually came with the foam pieces that come, on the factory motor. They're supposed to quiet things down. The big plastic intakes echo a lot of sound, I guess. Anyways, they're so thin, it's not going to cause me any problems. So I stuck them on there. This one's actually holding my knock sensor wiring down instead of tape. I went ahead and put RTV dams in front of both knock sensor openings for any water that comes in. It'll divert. Um, when I first swapped this motor or the LS1 into my car, I was having knock sensor codes, and when I pulled this off, actually the plug was broken, so I don't even think it was making contact. But the sensor was so rusty, and that's what causes that as water gets in there. So I put a little bit around the actual plug and put that. It should be fine. The other thing I did was put the rear blocks, the rear coolant passage block offs. Put new stainless bolts on just because, and I cleaned the actual block off on the wire wheel. So let's see what else. Motor mounts. I put the water pump on. I cleaned the bolts up. Put the water pump on. It's looking good. I cleaned up the gasket surfaces a little bit. I got a little overzealous with my paint, and it was actually onto the sealing surface, so I had to use the air tool with the disc on it and cleaned it up. Let's see what else happened today. Not much else. I did get the crank bolt to 250 foot-pounds. I tried doing it the other day. I used a piece of, actually I used this. It's 1 inch, like 1/8 inch thick steel. I drilled one hole, had it threaded through here, and bolted one bolt to the crank flange, thinking, that'll probably hold. That was about 180 foot-pounds, and the hole started to give way and it bent. So I knew that wasn't going to work. And then it kind of hit me that I had, since this is an LQ4, the shorter cranked LQ4, since I believe it came out of an '04 truck, I still had the crank spacer. So I went ahead and found that, and I had this. It's a piece of shelving from a store I used to work at. It's probably 1/8 inch thick. It's real heavy. It's like a tang, and it's not the prettiest weld in the world, but I did prep it and I did weld both sides. This side is round so that it fits on the flange, but it's welds are fine. So this just, and I also had to enlarge that hole because it's a pretty tight fit. But now you just slip this in and it goes right on. And I throw two bolts in, two opposing bolts, which I feel should be plenty. Actually, I couldn't find any older flywheel bolts, so I only used two. Crank that sucker over and it hits any arm you want it to hit. And I was able to really reef on that thing. I mean, I got to 250. I'm actually surprised at two things. I'm surprised that it worked, and I'm surprised that I was able to crank it to 250 with just on the engine stand. That was pretty fun. I'm sure I'm going to feel that later. So the other discovery is kind of an oversight again on my part. I threw I have Thunder Racing. I think these are Thunder Racing. Thunder Racing. Come on, focus. 7.35 push rods. These are really nice push rods. I don't know if they're really nice, but they're nice. They're not stock. And in my mind, because my cam is over 600 lift, and it's much bigger than my old cam, I was like, oh, I'll probably need shorter push rods, or these will be close because of the different lifters. And no, they're way short. Way short. think I got 3/4 of a turn after I found zero lash. I got 3/4 of a turn to get the 22 foot-pounds. So, and I think it's got to be 1.5 to 1 3/4 turns, or 1 1/4 to 1 3/4. So I read some stuff online, and just doing some quick math and everything. I think I might need 7.425s. I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna measure, obviously. So just leaving this kind of in there, and I thought I could get away with it. Thought maybe I'd come off smelling like roses there and be able to just reuse my push rods, but unfortunately not. So that's where I'm at there. I forgot that 600 lift, I believe it starts at 600. Maybe it's even before that, or maybe it doesn't matter, but it's got a smaller base circle, so that means I need longer ones. So I'm going to try to sell these and recoup some cost. The other thing that might keep me from putting this motor in tomorrow, yes, I'm going to try to put the motor in tomorrow. Would really love to have it in, is I realized I don't have any dowel pins in this block. I don't have any alignment dowels that go into the bell housing. I realized that when I was lining the oil pan up, but they weren't there. So they're like $3 a piece from Summit. I placed the order yesterday. They'll be here tomorrow. I don't know when, though. So if they don't show up till 4 o'clock, it's not going to happen. If they show up at 9 o'clock in the morning, we might be in business, because this thing is pretty much at a point now where I throw the trans on, I throw the headers on, and I can put it in. The intake and, you know, valve covers and valve train, I can do all that in the car. It's a 3rd gen F body, so the whole motor is exposed. I don't have any issues getting to it. So I think today what I'm going to do is clean up my valve cover bolts, because I was going to replace them with stainless. They're just, I don't feel like messing with that. The wire wheel does a good enough job, and I'm going to cover this up, and I'm probably going to maybe clean the intake and bolt the intake down, just because, I don't know, covers everything up, seals the motor up, and it doesn't matter if it's on. It's so, it's not, you know, it's not like the old TPI intakes where they're real huge. It's low profile, and I can still get it in the car, no problem. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully tomorrow is a fun day. I really wish I could find my stinking camera mount, because I was gonna basically do like a time lapse of me putting the motor in somehow. I cannot find it for the life of me. So do one more search, and if I can't find it, I don't know what kind of video I'm gonna have, but we'll see. All right, thanks for watching.